With the year almost out, it was time to swap our gas cylinder. Now, our previous cylinder wasn't full when we first inherited it, but it lasted us around 3 months. But the jobs didn't stop there. Amelie had a puncture with her bicycle tyre, so it was time for a new inner tube and a quick health check of the tyre before a quick installation using some gentle persuasion, followed by a swift navigation to the hydration station. I spoke on a previous video of my interest in industrial heritage. As we roll along this particular canal, I'm intrigued to think back. Horses would have been used to pull canal boats, as well as being used in the coal mines, not to mention the laborious task of dragging equipment and various materials around this 36-acre site. The original lime kiln at Moira Furnace would have been erected around 1804. It was originally there to provide lime for the mortar for the much larger construction of the furnace. Roughly a couple of decades later, there were 2 more kilns added at an angle, which we explored, and as with the more drawn tunnel at the back of the furnace, I'm glad we kept our helmets on too. Now it was getting pretty late, so it was time for me to now do some donkey work as we headed back to this month's campsite. We enjoyed some much deserved strawberries and cream and played a couple of games. Now because Amelie doesn't live with me full time, we journal together to encourage a clear, open and safe channel of communication. Moving days are always bittersweet, of course, with the awning being out of action, packing down and setting up are much easier. Our most recent campsite boasted glamping pods, lotus bell tents, hot tubs and some pretty quirky facilities, including shower and loo shacks if you don't feel like using the indoor shower and toilet block. Well, as tempting as a night under the canvas has been in the past, we much prefer our very own tin tent. Now this really isn't a cheap way of living, so it's important that I invest enough time into promoting my business. Here we are at a local knife crime event, teaching people how to use public access bleed control kits, as well as a few stories from the ambulances and my personal experiences. The more time I put into the business, the more I can continue to do spontaneous things like, well, buy my mum lunch. Or as we know, I have a new girlfriend. I can wine and dine her in my tiny home with my pretend Netflix fireplace and brag about my plastic wine glass collection. I woke up Christmas Day with a note from the infamous pant thief from a couple of videos ago.
Sorry, I stole your pants. Here's a new pair. They're pants thief.
Of course, my Christmas wouldn't be special without a certain somebody. We had one of the best nights, consisting of face masks and a skincare routine, followed by something probably not too good for the skin, and then we went back to looking after the skin the next morning. Here's me apprehensively having my makeup done, and well, I returned the favour. In a great attempt to restore whatever masculinity I once had, we went on a nighttime stroll, but I'm wearing Mr. Ticklebox of sorts and it just wasn't doing it, so in a proud display of masculinity, I decided to loiter at a local hardware store. I self-scanned a few items and set myself a DIY task. The wastewater from the kitchen and bathroom sinks goes into a wastewater container, which I empty every few days. So I set up a direct waste pipe and direct freshwater feed into my freshwater container and onboard hot water tank. Anyway, I sincerely wish you have a wonderful new year. We'll see you next time.